What's up, everyone? Scotty from Chernobyl Studios. Man, it's always a good day when I get to play with a new library from Silence and Other Sounds from Giuseppe. So you guys really railed me in the comments last time having a go at that name. So Giuseppe. I'm probably still saying it wrong, but you'll let me know. So as you heard, most of those atmospheric sounds were from the brand new library here called Helen, and it's a banger. I love it. I love anything that Silence and Other Sounds does. I did a video about their Dojo product a couple months back when they released that Dojo here, and everything right now is 33% off. Giuseppe told me it's not. I don't know if it's shown here. Like if we click on Learn More, I don't know. It's 33% off because of the Helen intro. So it looks like the price has already just been taken down. So all of the other libraries are also 33% off for the Helen intro price. Amazing. Like I told you guys last time when I did the video for Dojo, Omen and Malventum are chef's kiss. Some of the best Viking pagan type sounds. I use these all the time when I'm doing more of the folkish, Viking, paganistic type sounds that I want to put in the music. These are mainstays. Some of the best libraries I've ever used. Helen, no exception. So this one caught my interest because it's much more evil sounding, not necessarily paganistic or Viking per se, but just evil. And I knew going into it that great, now we're going to have good evil sounds that are playable and musical that we can start crafting ideas with straight away. That's one of the criticisms that I've given other companies, which I talked about previously, where it's such a pain in the ass to use the instrument. You got to load up the patch, you got to learn how to program it correctly, and then playing it is a pain in the dick. Well, Helen is just you load up a patch and you can instantly start playing with it, and everything just it flows. It's so easy to create awesome songs with it, which you just heard, and we will go through. So this is just the store page. You can read it on your own. Link down in the description. Um, Full disclosure, I am being paid for the video, but the link is not an affiliate link of any kind. Just it's a link. All they've done is paid and sponsored the video. Uh, it's awesome, and it features all the things that we talked about with the Dojo synth. So playability, musicality, parameters to adjust how you want the things to sound. All I did really was find sounds that I liked. I put them in the song, and that's it. I didn't spend a whole lot of time crafting my own things. That's one of the main things that I like about Giuseppe and Silence and Other Sounds. Here's the preset, it's playable, go, use it, create. That's a big thing to me, especially at this point in time when I am literally overbooked with mixing work and I need to get these videos done as soon as possible. I don't have time to just sit there and read a 500-page manual how to use a fucking instrument. I can just open it and go click, click, click. Oh, great, fantastic, done, and we have created a song. Uh, I used most of the effects being discussed here, like the breath sequences, the syllables. Did not use the vocalize builder, however, but I really enjoy the concept of the vocalize builder because, as it says right here, you have the 3 independent layers, so you can basically, in one instrument, create a dynamic. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? What you might have to use 3 or 4 different instruments for, you can do in one instrument with 3 different layers. So you can have literally like a bass, a mid, and a high, or you can start layering different things together. This is something I did not spend a lot of time with. Unfortunately, didn't use it, but it's awesome. I kind of did this manually, which I'll show you. So I probably should have used the vocalize builder. It would have been easier for me. Breathing loops, which I used. I must say that this is the full version of Kontakt, but it's almost 666. That would have been nice, hey? I don't really see this as a big deal. This is extremely affordable for the quality that you're getting. It's ridiculously affordable. Even the $79 is a little bit on the too affordable side. Something like this could be $100, and I would feel perfectly justified with that purchase. All right. So enough of the store page here. Let's get into the session. So what I've done here. You guys always ask me in the comments, so I'll just tell you straight out. So the drums are Hertz drums. I don't know what else I can say about Hertz drums. They literally are my number one go-to drum library right now. Hertz drums, they're freaking amazing. I use it on everything, unless specifically asked. Pretty much, it's my first choice. Hertz drums. Bass, we have EuroBass III from Submission Audio. Classic, and it's just the Bish arms preset. Don't do anything to it because it sounds good. Guitars are the Engel Savage 120 plugin mixed with the Marshall or the Nameless, okay? And then we have all of the patches from HELLEN. Now, I did go ahead and I used a percussion and chant instrument from Omen and then the pain piano to get more of the dynamic hit that I wanted during the break here. But all of the atmosphere is coming right from HELLEN. And here's what I'm talking about. The very first patch. I guess I can just open this. Very first patch. Just listen to this. So atmospheric. And I love the reverb that comes in after it. The long tail, you can change all the reverb settings right down here. It's all here, guys. Now, the vocal morph is pretty interesting. We can change the dynamic quality of it. Let's just go ahead and do that. So it's going back and forth between the two samples that we have here, the ethereal soprano with the horror soprano. And you can change this was stock. I didn't do anything to it. You can change how much of either side you want to go between. And this is what I'm talking about. There are just instruments. You can get creative instantly. It's the very first one. I just opened the very first one. I hit a key. I went, wow, this sounds awesome. And that's what happened. That's why I really like these instruments so much. Because when you just want to be creative, you can just, here you go, you're creative. So I know I'm repeating myself, but I really just love the musicality of these libraries. I think Giuseppe has a really good concept of wanting to create music. Like he's able to get into the weeds and create the instruments, and do the technical side so that I don't have to. I'm not interested in all the things that go into creating these instruments. I just want to use it and be creative with them. And even at just stock settings, it sounds exactly how I want it to sound. You have the ethereal quality to it. It's dark sounding. It's evil sounding. Has a bunch of reverb on it. And it sounds just evil, brooding, exactly what it should sound like. So it was very easy then to do everything else. So I was like, okay, so this is like the background layer, right? I have the bed, I have the bed of what I'm going for. Let's try and duplicate it. I want to add some more, not immediacy to it, but I want to make it a bit more offsetting. And I'm sitting here going, well, it would be cool if there was not like a screaming soprano sound, but just maybe a bit more of a shrieking type of soprano sound. And it just so happens in the same instrument, because we have vocal textures right here. If you go to Young Ghost, and all I did was I went through the list and I just hit one key, and I was like, not what I'm looking for, not quite what I'm looking for. And then Young Ghost number 1, check this out. Check how this morphs and turns into something even more evil. That little bit right there, these little like a young child speaking to you. For me personally, I mean, because I'm a dad now, this kind of stuff hits me a little bit differently than it used to when I wasn't a dad. So this, like anything with kids anymore, I can't. Don't. I just can't. Leave the kids alone. Don't touch the kids. Even like these Cannibal Corpse albums from back in the day, Butchered at Birth. Even I'm like, things have changed as I've gotten older, as I became a dad and whatever. So this one, for me personally, is very eerie, and it really gets me like, okay, this is unsettling for me, right? So when you put them together, there you can hear the top end now. And that just goes right into the guitar riff and the fills right away. It's literally perfect. It's perfect. And again, it's the same thing, morphing between this texture and ghostly talk, it looks like, or ghostly texture, I'm sorry. I didn't change anything here. This is the instrument. This is it. Did nothing, right? And it's kind of funny how this worked out because if we look top down, right? I literally did it just like this. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I'm like, "Oh, it'd be cool if there was like something more filling out the high end a little bit because this is the Angelus is like mid to low ish, and it's more atmospheric." I'm like, "Ah, it'd be cool if something was filling out the high end a little bit." Okay, here it is. Ooh, it'd be really cool if there's like stuff kind of going around, like coming in and out. Like whispers would be cool. Are there whispers? You damn right there are whispers. Oh, great. Let's check out the whispers. Let's see what that sounds like. Whispers, great. What do we got? So this is a one shot. So this is not particularly. This is not going to be a list of instruments in a single vocal texture instrument. These are what he's calling one shots on the website. So what you get is, it's just this is it. And there are so many of them. Like which look. And even doing that just right now, they're so playable. You could create sentences, and people can whatever they want it to be is whatever they can decide it is, right? Like I'm just clicking things here, and that seamlessly went together. That was pretty damn cool, actually. But the one I went with is kind of like a low bed, like a low bed as they would call it, where it's there. You can't really make up what's going on here, but it's unsettling. It's eerie. So all three of these working together. It sounds like it sounds like a coherent set of whispers, like an incantation, which is where the idea came then. Where okay, this is going to be called the Forbidden Incantation, and what I did is so you can see I have different notes here. What I did was I just played this over and over and over and just was clicking to try to find whispers that worked well together, like in a row. Like someone is talking to you. You can't make out what they're saying, but you can kind of hear something going on, right? And I was like, okay, that's cool. Well, if we have an incantation, then we need to have some sort of actual syllable or some sort of something going on that sounds like an incantation. And wouldn't you know it, Giuseppe knew that that was going to happen. And look at this. We have a syllable sequencer. Now, syllable sequencer is one of the best things that Giuseppe has come up with. It's also in Omen, which I used during the little quick break for a male uh, incantation style. But if you look here on Kontakt, we have a green button, and the green button makes it loop. And then there's a obviously it changes based on the BPM of the song and what you want to do. However, you can use it on an individual basis, which is exactly what I opted to do with. And I couldn't believe it when I was looking at this that there literally um is there Satanus? Is that the word? Is that one of the words here? Or it might be Spiritus. I don't remember already. Yeah, Spiritus. So the first one, Diabolus. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So we have like the forbidden incantation right here in the words that I would want to use. So in the beginning, I just did sort of basic syllables to sound, I don't know, like Latin and foreign. On top of the whispers and everything else, we get a result that sounds like this. And I wish I was lying to you and said, "Oh, this took days to figure out." I wish I was lying. This is about 10 minutes right here. 10 minutes. And it's all because Giuseppe's instruments basically allow you just to be creative. Be like, oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? Oh, what about... And that's one of the main reasons why his libraries always show up on my music. I have more expensive libraries. I have Dark Era, Celtic Era. I have these other libraries. They're just more of a technical pain in the ass to use. Why do that when I can just load up this library? Plus those other libraries are in like the Best Service Engine, which is like a Kontakt alternative, but I don't think it's better. Anyway, we're getting off on a tangent here. But this 10 minutes of work, and I've created an entire atmospheric intro for the Forbidden Incantation. This is fucking perfect, right? So I'm super excited at this point, and I'm like, okay, we're clearly building up here. Like in the second half here, we're building up to something. We're doing the Diabolus Spiritus. We're getting the whispers. We got the more unsettling young ghosts start coming in. So what would happen if you're doing the Forbidden Incantation? What kind of emotional reaction or physical reaction might you have? And maybe you're in pain. Maybe you're shocked about something. Well, there will probably be some gasps or deep breaths. And once you know it, gasping breath. Literally right here. Gasps and yells. One shots right in here. So we can click around. Perfect. So I was like, great, easy. Let me find a gasping breath that makes sense with what's going on here. And this is what it sounds like. Now, the reason I picked that one was maybe it's the forbidden incantation on a pregnant woman in order that the child she gives birth to is the devil or Satan or whatever the hell. So maybe these are the gasping breaths of a pregnant woman in the throes of labor being sacrificed at the same time, right? This is getting pretty evil, getting pretty crazy. All because of this instrument. 15, 20 minutes of work, literally right here, just finding all this, right? One instrument. It's hilarious, actually, because normally this never happens. You like, oh, I have a really good texture sound over here with this instrument, and this one sounds really good. I'm using just almost literally going right down the line like this. So vocal textures, cool. Screams, howls, creatures, whispers, monster growls, shrieks, gasps, yells, the syllable sequencer. It's so simple, it's silly, actually, right? So then I'm like, okay, if we're gonna commit to this idea, right, there's got to be some kind of devil scream, right? Like, what kind of scream can we get from a devil? Gee whiz, why don't we just use the demoniac one-shots that Giuseppe has created, and let's find one that sounds like the devil, perhaps. But we've got a lot of different sounds here. These are more creature-esque, I think. Probably, maybe even would be suited for games. So they all sound pretty ridiculous, right? I opted for one that was a bit more guttural, sounded more male, devilish. And I really like this one in particular because it sounds like, the process is complete, right? He's come out, here I am. And then, with the guitars and everything kicking in, I was like, well, we gotta, keep the growling going, keep the atmosphere, and here we are. Awesome. And then I did a creature growl for just a different one because I wanted to hear what it would sound like. So we go with the devil growl into the creature growl here. I kind of did this one mostly because it really cut through the guitars and the bass and the drums here. And I also picked some chants, like I told you about earlier, for this section. Just wanted something where just keep the evil sounding going. We have a hit from Pain Piano, just really nailing that down, and then we have percussion from Ullman just to kind of keep the rhythmic incantation. You're kind of assuming that when we're doing this incantation, it's a kind of thing, and Ullman makes it easy. It's pretty silly how easy this was. Again, I wish I was lying to you. I wish I told you I sat here for hours and sweat bullets and banged my head against the wall, but this took 30 minutes maximum. It took longer for me to record the guitars and to program the drums than it did for me to come up with this idea and to create this atmosphere. The other great thing, too, is it's super simple to mix. I think I did EQ, yep. And this has been a trick of mine to use Reviver, the synth exciter, to just add some mids and high end to help it cut. That's it. That's all I do. And it goes right to the submix and to the master chain. The ending here was an afterthought because it normally it just ended here last time. I didn't do anything to it. But I decided, we should probably, complete the idea, right? And so I repeated the gasping breath from before, but then I put laughing. Because it's the forbidden incantation, right? You think you're doing the incantation to benefit your goals and your desires, but it's forbidden because you do the incantation and it ultimately destroys you because it's not going to do what you want. It's going to do what it wants. That's the power of evil, right? You can't wield the power of evil. It's like the Wishmaster. You can wish for certain things and your wish is granted, just never in the way that you have intended, right? And so it's kind of an interesting concept here is that, why put so much work into these demos and these things? But this really just goes to show why I love these libraries so much and why I think Giuseppe does fantastic work. It's so fairly priced. I really can't describe because you can actually make music with it and be creative with it. And this kind of stuff, the cinematic aspects, are what I think sets my music apart. I'm always looking for a way to add a dynamic cinematic aspect into my music. You guys know that. I love epic stuff. And so when this came out and Giuseppe asked me if I wanted to do a video, it was like, yes, I do. and and so I'm very thankful for him to send me the library so I could do a video for you guys. I understand, that some of you are going to be pissy that it's in Kontakt, you need the full version, but if you're really serious about music creation and you want to use orchestral sounds and soundscapes and instruments anyway, you should already have Kontakt, if I'm being honest with you. So I really don't think that's a barrier to entry anymore. Plus, it was just a summer sale. Kontakt was 50% off. I mean, people who are serious already have the instrument and whatever, and the people who just want to find everything for free will just good luck, right? There is a cost benefit analysis here where I can have these things and I can create music in 30 minutes. That means a lot to me, especially I'm getting older, you know. I mean, I don't have a lot of time like I used to have in my early 20s anymore. So I want to create stuff quickly, and this is worth it to me. So Giuseppe, I think Helen is an awesome instrument. This is it's going to be great because I really want to do another Halloween multi-track giveaway. And now I know that I can use this library and it'll help me get closer to what I want to do. All right. So this is the end of the review. Amazing. Buy it. Worth every freaking penny. Super affordable. Even too affordable. I think Giuseppe could double the price, no problem, and I would feel totally justified buying it, as would anyone else who uses his products. Okay. Last couple things I want to say here, just at the end of the video. If you guys are curious how I got this mix and this sound, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. I am releasing my mixing death metal course next month, and it's all of my new mixing techniques, which are as simple as possible. You can see here, these have program drums, but whatever. You can see here, this is my master chain now. It's 2 plugins. I have simplified the way that I do things to the point now where I don't know if I could be even more simple, even more simple. So mixing death metal, that'll come out next month. The drums were recorded at Hertz Studio. So it's gonna be awesome. I'll let you guys know more about it as we get closer to that, but just keep that in mind, okay? It's gonna be freaking great, and you guys are gonna love it. So thanks a lot to, again, Giuseppe. Link down below for this library, plus all of my other links for my Patreon or my other training courses, things like this. And I will see you guys in the next video. Hope you have a good one.